Rock and roll has always had a dangerous relationship with alcohol. Some of the most legendary performers in hard rock and metal history taken the stage so intoxicated they could barely stand, let alone play. From collapsed drummers to banned SNL performances, these are 8 of the most infamous times rock stars were simply too drunk to perform. Number 8. Keith Moon, The Who, Cow Palace, 1973. The Who's drummer was a walking disaster on November 20th, 1973 at the Cow Palace in San Francisco. Moon had mixed brandy with animal tranquilizers before the show, and 70 minutes into the set, reality caught up with him. During Won't Get Fooled Again, he began slowing down like a dying engine, eventually passing out completely behind his drum kit. Roadies dragged him off stage and threw him in a cold shower, then brought him back out to attempt Magic Bus. Incredibly, Moon collapsed again, this time for good. With no drummer and a sold-out crowd waiting, guitarist Pete Townshend did something unprecedented. He asked if anyone in the audience could play drums. A 19-year-old fan named Scott Halpin climbed on stage and finished the show with The Who, playing 3 songs. It remains one of the most legendary drunk performances in rock history, and the only time a major arena rock band recruited a replacement musician from the crowd mid-concert. Number 7. The Replacements, Saturday Night Live, January 1986. Saturday Night Live has strict rules, and one of them is no alcohol in the studio. The Replacements didn't care. On January 18, 1986, the Minneapolis punk rockers made their national television debut, and they were determined to party. Banned from drinking by SNL staff, the band had one of their instrument techs sneak bottles into the studio. They spent the entire Saturday getting hammered. By the time the live broadcast began, guitarist Bob Stinson was so drunk he tripped in the corridor on the way to the stage, fell onto his guitar, and broke it. During their performance of Bastards of Young, the band forgot entire verses, mumbled incoherently, and cursed at the audience. It was a train wreck broadcast to millions of viewers. Lorne Michaels banned them immediately. The Replacements never appeared on Saturday Night Live again, earning the distinction of being one of the few musical acts permanently barred from the show for their behavior. Number 6. Ozzy Osbourne, Diary of a Madman Tour, 1981. Fresh off Black Sabbath and launching his solo career, Ozzy was supposed to be proving himself. Instead, the Diary of a Madman tour became a nightmare for everyone involved. Bassist Rudy Sarzo later described Osbourne as being in a state of near constant inebriation throughout the American leg. Ozzy was often so hungover he simply refused to perform, forcing last-minute cancellations across multiple cities. When he did make it on stage, his voice was shredded from smoking, drinking, and drug abuse. The performances were ragged and painful to watch. Band members grew frustrated, coping with the unpredictability and violent mood swings when Ozzy drank. The tour was plagued by canceled dates, disappointed fans, and a frontman barely holding himself together. It was a dark chapter in Osbourne's career, though he would eventually get sober and reclaim his throne as the Prince of Darkness. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this countdown, smash that like button and subscribe for more rock history content. Now, let's keep going. Number 5. Eddie Van Halen, Van Halen Reunion Tour, Tucson, 2004. The 2004 reunion tour with Sammy Hagar was supposed to be a celebration. Instead, it turned into one of the ugliest tours in Van Halen's dysfunctional history. Eddie Van Halen showed up to shows unkempt, hunched over, frighteningly skinny, and drinking wine straight from the bottle. On November 19, 2004, at the final show in Tucson, Arizona, everything fell apart. A visibly intoxicated Eddie smashed his guitar on stage. Witnesses say, he was crying, telling the confused crowd, "You don't understand." The tour ended that night. Sammy Hagar later called it some of the most miserable, backstabbing, dark crap I've ever been involved with. Eddie was battling personal demons and substance abuse during this period, and it showed. The reunion fans had hoped for became a cautionary tale about unresolved addiction. It would be years before Eddie would find stability again. Number 4. Vince Neil, Motley Crue Solo Show, Tampa 2006. Motley Crue's frontman has never been shy about his love of partying, but on June 30, 2006, Vince Neil crossed the line at a solo show in Tampa, Florida. Eyewitnesses reported that Neil was already smashed when he stumbled on stage at the St. Pete Times Forum. He couldn't remember the words to his own songs, slurred incoherently between tracks, and nearly fell down multiple times. The crowd started booing. Instead of trying to salvage the performance, Neil yelled at the audience to shut up, then walked off stage and didn't come back. The show was over. Fans demanded refunds. In the years following, Neil's drinking would continue to create problems. He was charged with misdemeanor battery in 2016 for assaulting a fan. We're getting close to number 1. Drop a comment below with the drunkest concert you've ever witnessed. Let's continue. Number 3. Scott Wyland, Stone Temple Pilots, Corpus Christi 2015. Scott Wyland's struggles with addiction were well documented, but his performance in Corpus Christi, Texas in April 2015 shocked even longtime fans. Taking the stage with his band, the Wildabouts, in support of their album Blaster, Wyland delivered a cringe-worthy performance of the Stone Temple Pilots' hit Vaseline, complete with mumbled lyrics and off-key singing. He could barely stand upright. Years earlier, at a Houston show on September 19, 2010, Wyland had opened with a rant, admitting he'd stopped doing dope, pausing for applause. Then, he told the crowd he'd started drinking again, which received even greater applause. Slurring his speech, he attributed his alcoholism to his brother's death and his divorce. His representative later told TMZ that drugs weren't involved in the messy Corpus Christi performance, calling it a perfect storm of fatigue, a malfunctioning monitor system, and a couple drinks before the show. Wyland died later that same year, in December 2015. Number 2. Slash, Guns N' Roses, Botched Welcome to the Jungle. Slash is one of the most iconic guitarists in rock history, but even legends have embarrassing moments. During a Guns N' Roses performance, Slash was so intoxicated that he completely botched the introduction to Welcome to the Jungle. One of the band's most famous songs from their 1987 debut album, Appetite for Destruction. He started playing in the wrong key, forcing the band to stop and restart. Slash later called it one of the most embarrassing moments of his career. Guns N' Roses shows during their peak. Years were often fueled by excessive drinking and drug use, and the consequences occasionally showed on stage. The chaotic energy made Guns N' Roses legendary, but it also led to plenty of sloppy performances. Number 1. Nirvana, Rotterdam, Netherlands, September 1991.
The Argonne boxes.
On September 1st, 1991, Nirvana performed at De Dolen in Rotterdam during their European tour. The band had been drinking heavily throughout the day, and by showtime they were completely wasted. Event staff asked them twice not to start playing yet, as Nick Cave was reading poetry in the venue below.
If you can rip a whole six-pack thing, you're a real man. But
Kurt Cobain ignored them and launched into Polly anyway. The combination of the disruption and the band's drunkenness created chaos. There were false starts of Sliver and In Bloom, with Cobain throwing his hands in the air, completely lost. After about a minute and a half of confusion, things were sorted out, and the band stumbled back into business. Despite the rough start and continued sloppiness, Nirvana managed to complete the performance. It was a mess, but fans who were there remember it as a raw, chaotic snapshot of a band on the edge. Just weeks later, Nevermind would be released and change rock music forever.